on Curiosity Stream. He allows them their riches.
Putin has to be the richest of the rich.
In exchange for their loyalty.
The oligarchs have supported someone for president that they underestimate.
The illicit affair between Russia's elite and the man who rules them on Putin and the oligarchs. And World War II Normandy. An obscure battle training session takes a tragic turn. Uncover the one secret military catastrophe on the secret D-Day disaster. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit CuriosityStream.com.
Bro, gnarly. What's up, Taylor? Dude, that nerd in his electric hybrid totally blew the light while texting his yuppie friends.
That's so bogus, bro. Are you hurt?
Yeah, like I can't move my hips, bro. I think I broke my pelvis, man. Dude, no way.
Taylor, you need to drop a dime and talk with the lawyers at the Advocates Law Firm.
No way, can't afford that, bro. Your crotch is broken, man, and they don't earn any money unless they win your case. Dude, no way. You get injured, the advocates get results. Contact me today at advocateslaw.com.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to season 17, episode number 3618. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and my cock. And you are the Men's Room. On tap today, the return of Who Sucks Less. We will play Profile This. Plus headlines, a Men's Room shot of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted. Click. Clack.
Drinking tea dry.
All right, here we go. Vegas man tells cops he drove the wrong way down a street because Dale Earnhardt's ghost told him to. Meanwhile, a mugshot of a fugitive in England proves that regardless of the crime, he is someone that your girlfriend would do. In Nashville, Tennessee, home is broken into by a man with blue dinosaur onesie on. Couple rents place that doesn't allow renters, and now their home is completely gone. And a man in Thailand smokes some weed. Then he cuts his penis off with scissors. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Smooth.
All the bitches, good day to you and yours. All right, it is a battle of the sexes that no one wants to compete in. We're talking, of course, about damage to your private parts, destruction of the delicates, the defacement of your pendendum. I just learned that word today, pendendum. Now, in case you're wondering what I'm talking about, here are some examples. Representing men, we have a man who may never be able to use his penis again after his partner sprayed expanding foam in his urethra and what they're calling a sex act gone wrong. He now urinates from an incision cut between his scrotum and his anus. True. Meanwhile, a woman in England, she's attempting to crowdfund breast reduction surgery after her 36 double J breast flapped out and landed on top of a hot tea kettle, resulting in her burning her nipples. You cannot make this stuff up. And our battle of the sexes, the men come back with a British man who earned the dubious distinction of being a medical first after suffering what they call a vertical penis fracture. Let's just say he missed his target and he broke his junk. Meanwhile, a woman in New York, she suffered, quote, a horrific vagina injury after being flung from a jet ski and then landing on the handlebars. She suffered what they call a large vulvar hematoma. We go back to the men. Miles, you just covered it. A man in Thailand. He upped the ante when he cut off his own penis in what they call a drug-induced psychosis. But the women, they finished strong, thanks to the woman who had to go to the emergency room after a bull gored her from behind. but her front also sustained some damage. You get the idea. Now, all of this said, we hope your junk has not suffered this level of catastrophe, but inevitably, you've done some kind of damage to your privates, and today we ask you to share your morbid story with us in the form of an answer to this question. Today, we just want to know what happened to your important bits.
Be part of the big show. Call 206-421-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
New on Curiosity Stream, she was a loving wife, a devoted mother. She also stole atomic secrets and gave them to the Soviets. Meet the woman whose deception kick-started the Cold War on the spy who stole the atom bomb. And
what if they catch you?
Then I shall be shot.
They're coming! Come back!
relive history's most death-defying escapes. It's Impossible Escapes, Civil War. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
Oh, drat. I was driving along minding my own business when that vulgar leech hit my Beamer with his pickup truck. I fear I've fractured my clavicle.
I say, old boy, don't simply put it in the hands of your insurance company to sort it out. Talk with a dedicated row of solicitors at the Advocates Law Firm.
Pipe down, you old sod. The Advocates will see your case through to the bitter end and won't sleep a fortnight until they have victory in their grasp.
Jolly good, old man. Jolly good indeed. You get injured, the Advocates get results. AdvocatesLaw.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
All of it, y'all. And away we go. Welcome to Season 17, Episode number 3618. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat. Steve the Thrill Hill, the exciting return of Who Sucks Less.
Oh, yeah.
Every week, I don't know how you do it. You find 3 crappy stories in the news.
It's crazy.
We got to figure out of the 3 stories, which one actually sucks the least. How are we looking this week?
Mike and I have been talking about this. None of the stories are awful. It's just an unnecessary reaction to something that's not that big of a deal. So really, the struggle today will be like, all right, look, no one we know would respond the way any of these 3 did. So you have to ask yourself, situationally, which one of these would you individually be the most likely for things to escalate?
Does this include the video I saw the other day of the guy shooting through his car windows?
No.
Okay. Right.
No.
I thought that was a little excessive.
Because I thought
a little bit. Yeah, exactly.
I couldn't think of who to put him up against.
Right.
You know, like, Jesus, man.
Who Sucks Less coming up, of course. I will do a little Men's Room happy hour for you Monday through Friday at 6 o'clock. We head on over to the Odyssey app for more Men's Room. And if you don't have that Odyssey app, download it now. It is absolutely free. Then search for the Men's Room happy hour. That channel goes live at 6 as we do the happy hour Monday through Friday at 6 o'clock. If you go and check out that channel right now, there's unfortunately nothing on it.
Oh, not a damn thing.
But, one day maybe we'll get our show on there on a repeat or something.
They call it a Men's Room channel.
But as of right now, we don't have it. So either way, we do the happy hour at 6 o'clock coming up. We got sidetracked last night, little hockey talk.
Right.
So we'll get back to the return of the effing news.
Not honky tonk, but hockey talk.
And ironically enough, some euphemisms for penis, which kind of plays into today's question in a weird way.
Well, we realize it's kind of important. So we asked the question today, what happened to your important bits? The important bits, let's face it, anything that has to be legally covered where you don't get arrested, all right? Mm-hmm. So we got boobs, we got butts, we got penises, we got vaginas. And as texts roll in already, everyone has a different euphemism, for their different body parts. That's understood. For the purposes of today, we thought, let's keep this a classy show. So instead of all the different euphemisms, let's all just agree to use certain ones. So we will start with your testicles. Should destruction have been on the testicles, we will call them for just today. That will be Simon and Garfunkel.
Simon and Garfunkel.
We considered Starsky and Hutch, Turner and Hooch, but we went with Simon and Garfunkel. Hall and Oates, right? That was a strong contender. So Simon and Garfunkel for the testicles. For anyone's butt.
Tango and Cash.
Oh, that would have been best. Should we go Tango and Cash? You want to stick Simon?
I don't know. Either way, you come up with Laurel and Hardy. You come up with your favorite duo.
Depending who you are, give me the 3 Musketeers. We're not here to judge.
Batman and Robin, whatever you want, man. I mean, it's just C-3PO and R2-D2.
The Wonder Twins.
Yeah, whatever. Man.
You follow along, right? As far as your answer,
Ace and Gary.
the caboose. We all got a caboose.
Cagney and Lacey.
Cagney and Lacey. Ladies, when referring to your breasts, we're going to go ahead with bazingas, bazongas, or bazookas. Your choice, right?
The old school word.
And then whether you were talking about male anatomy or female anatomy, it does not matter if it's a penis or vagina. But today, for today's question, to answer it, we have, like I said, different terms on the text. We will refer to either as the zipper Wookie. All right, so if it is in your pants and the face is full, it is your zipper Wookie.
Ironically enough, probably one of the best calls we've had in a long time, just based off of this subject yesterday.
Oh, well, his father, Simon Garfunkel.
Yeah, he went in for a vasectomy, and they botched the surgery and left him permanently scarred. So when they went to trial, he had to go up there and testify on behalf of his dad, and his mom was also there testifying. But there were these two large pictures that were up right beside him of his dad's scrotum, which had been...
Simon Garfunkel.
Yeah, which had been completely, I guess...
Yeah.
Torn up. You know, I don't even want to know what it looked like.
Picture Tango and Cash got pulled out of a car fire. That's the best description I can think of.
And we start with the story we brought you last week. An American man may never be able to use his penis again after his partner accidentally sprayed expanding foam up his urethra in a sex act gone wrong. Is this accidentally?
They did it on purpose, but I don't think they were aware of the damage it would cause.
The 45-year-old?
I'm guessing maybe they thought they'd spray it around it.
Well, he said he sprayed it in it. I mean...
But right, I'm saying they said it was accidental. So I'm saying maybe he didn't mean to shoot it up the urethra.
Maybe
you know what I mean?
I don't know, man. I mean, I get you see expanding foam, and if you choose to not give it any more thought than that, right, you think something good's going to happen, but don't.
Oh, the 45-year-old man had to be cut between his scrotum and his anus so that he could urinate because the foam had hardened and then became anchored in his penis.
Right.
So medics who treated him said he will only qualify for reconstructive surgery if he is mentally competent, so to speak.
That's fair.
Then he's going to get a psychiatric evaluation. So the unidentified man was struggling with impotence and had been inserting various objects into the opening of his penis during sex to stay erect. If there was only a medical cure for this, if there was only something out there that could take care of impotence, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's all that guy needed, just something, like if they had some kind of a pill or something, but,
expanding foam.
Things went horribly
That's
wrong.
Heat of the moment.
Yeah, during one of the sessions. Man's partner tried to use the straw of a can of weatherproofing spray.
Jesus.
At some point, the man's partner accidentally hit the button on top of the can, deploying the foam inside of his penis.
Ooh.
The foam is normally used for home insulation. It hardened, and the man was left with several masses inside of his member and bladder. Insulating foam all the way up into his bladder.
Yeah, that's a bad story, man.
That's not good. We don't have a follow-up on this yet, as far as what happened to the man.
And don't think we're not looking.
We just got the initial story there. And then we have this story. Headline, my boobs are so big, I burnt them boiling the kettle.
Okay.
Yeah, woman whose breasts are so big that she accidentally burned her nipples on a kettle has been denied a breast reduction operation. Waitress Carly Smart says her 36 double J boobs have also knocked over drinks at the pub she works at.
Oh, damn.
And she nearly burned off her nipple on a scorching hot kettle. That is just one ordeal she's endured thanks to her large breasts, which they say weigh 1.5 stones. What is 1.5 stones?
14 so 21 pounds.
Both of them. Weigh that much or just each one? Do we know?
I'm guessing each one.
I mean,
I don't know. How much does the average woman's breast weigh?
I don't know. All she has, she's faced a range of physical issues, including back pain and rashes that turn her skin lobster red.
Sure.
And smell like rotting flesh.
Oh.
So now she set up a GoFundMe to help fund her breast reduction after she was rejected due to not meeting the minimum 25 BMI criteria.
Which is crazy. And look, I don't know exactly how BMI works.
Small.
But when you look at her picture, right, and she's covering up her nipples, obviously, but she's got to show them what she's working with. She does not have a particularly large frame. Certainly not for boobs that big.
It was hanging down. She's like, oh my God, I didn't even realize. I had put it on the side of a kettle.
Oh.
So I nearly burnt my nipple off at that point. I didn't even realize it was touching it until a good 20 seconds. And I was like, oh no, there we go. When I hold trays, I have to hold them a little bit higher up because the amount of glasses I've knocked over with my boobs is ridiculous. At one waitressing job, we had to have a uniform.
Sorry, it's just me boobs.
They weren't catered to female bodies and didn't fit at all. In the end, I had to get 2 3XL men's size shirts. One time all my buttons just popped right open in front of a good customer. Most embarrassing thing ever. Our question, what happened to your important bits? 206-421-ROCK.
Apparently the average weight of breast is right around 200 grams, which is roughly half a pound.
Each?
Yes.
Wow. So she's working with 21 pounds. That is crazy. Some of the comments that come in, I will insert our code words for theirs. It says, I was doing the deed with an ex when he nicked the vein on my zipper Wookie, and let's just say it was traumatizing. Then they had LOL. I don't know that I'd ever had LOL after that. Someone else says, I work at a vet clinic. I got bit right on the zipper Wookie by an upset dog. Thankfully, no permanent damage, but oh my God, that was not fun. And then someone else says, what happened to my zipper Wookie? Well, I had a single pesky ingrown hair on my uncut member. And once it got so bad, it formed a pus pocket so large and painful, I was literally Garth Brooks. Needed a laser hair removal treatment for a single effing hair. Damn, man. I have not had a
pus pocket.
A pus pocket.
Pus pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want that.
No, not anywhere, but especially not there. Hello, Zach. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen. How's it going?
Hola. Doing well, man.
Awesome. Well, my story for you today, I live in Ballard right now for the last few years, but I'm from New Mexico originally. And I was living in Albuquerque, my dad's girlfriend's house at the time, and I was young. I was about 5 or 6 at the time. About a half acre in the backyard, big space, lots of chickens, ducks, all the stuff. Towards the back end of the backyard was a giant tree. I was a young lad climbing trees all the time, doing the thing, wearing a small pair of shorts, little kind of hiking Patagonia shorts. On my way up climbing the tree, the branch I was standing on broke, and I ended up kind of tree hugging the tree and sliding down. And I remember the sound it made. I remember sliding, and I remember the branch that broke had then hit the apartment that Simon and Garfunkel live in. Ripping it completely open.
Wow.
Falling on fell down on my back. Kind of look up, there's blood everywhere. And there I am, face to face with Simon and Garfunkel themselves.
Wait, where were Simon and Garfunkel?
They were still in me.
Okay, all right.
But you could see them.
The window was wide open.
Oh, my God.
Completely ripped the hammock open, you know what I mean? So then my dad's inside actually cooking food or doing whatever. So basically I'm out there alone, half acre. I held myself together, ran up to the back door. Then he wrapped me in towels and threw me in the car. And I remember just kind of seeing and looking at him the entire time. Just these, white Simon and Garfunkel faces.
Did they glue you back together, stitch you back together?
No, I remember. Honestly, this is one of my first memories. I was on my back in the hospital, and one of the things that I remember, and I remember just looking, almost eye contact with the doctor while he just kind of numbed me up and stitched me up. So I got a pretty gnarly scar. That while I'm married now, but before I was retired, it was a great conversation starter. Something I like to show off to the ladies.
You know what? I don't.
And,
you want to see my scarred testicles?
I definitely,
works every time.
I definitely would have remembered something like that happening. But honest to God, I don't remember a lot from being 5. I remember.
I bet you remember that.
That's what I'm saying. That would be something that I would definitely remember.
I would not want to remember that. That's a story I want my parents to tell me later in life. I go, oh, that happened to me. Huh. Yeah.
Yeah, well, like I said, conversation starter, it was kind of a fun thing. And hey, at the end of the day, my daughter just celebrated her first birthday on the 31st of January, so everything worked out just fine.
Okay. So they've reunited.
Yeah, cuckoo-cuckoo.
Yeah, man.
What happened to your important bits? 206-421-ROCK.
I'm happy to say I've never actually seen my testicles face to face.
No.
Oh.
Well, I have.
Was it the operation? Okay, I'm a little more comfortable if it's an operation. Like, this is intentional, and I knew this was going to happen.
I'm not normally used to being awake during an operation where I can see the operation taking place, especially there.
Yeah, can they put you under?
I'm sure you could, but I mean, that was not how mine went. I was awake.
How long are they exposed as you're going through the operation?
Probably 10 minutes. It's not a long procedure.
No, 10 minutes, it's relative, man. If I'm looking at my testicles that are not inside of the scrotum, those 10 minutes seem like
a long time.
Were they what you thought they would look like? Like, I've never actually seen them.
I saw more of the vas deferens.
Okay.
What's that?
That is
like?
the...
I mean, I know what it is, but like, what's that look like?
It looks like a vein.
Okay, so is it
but
red?
They cut it and then they tie it, or they cauterize it, or whatever they do.
Yeah, I don't need to see all that.
They just make sure that the boys, that tube doesn't go to your urethra.
Right.
That way, you know what I mean? Nothing.
Sure.
You still have stuff. I don't, and I'm not sure how that works.
I don't know.
I mean, because like the road's closed, but I'm still not sure. There must be like a side route. You know,
It's like a non-alcoholic beer. Tastes like beer.
Yeah.
Looks like beer.
Something. Right.
It just doesn't get you drunk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I don't know how they do that.
It takes the side roads. Like you said.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah. We'll take the back roads.
I mean, right, obviously it was nothing with my junk, but like when I had those veins out, like I was awake. It's just weird to look down and see people pulling stuff out of your body.
Yeah, I would imagine that it is.
Mm-hmm. What happened to your important bits? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Jacob. Welcome to the men's room.
Pocket.
Hola.
Hola. So my story starts out, I was probably maybe 9 or 10 years old. My brother and I were playing baseball in our community tennis ball court, whatever the hell you want to call it. And I hit the ball. He pitched it to me. I hit the ball, and it fouls off the ground, concrete obviously, straight into Simon and Garfunkel. And I ended up hitting the ground, and I'm, rolling around in pain. And I got dirt all over the side of my face. Kind of looked like a 5 o'clock shadow. So ever since, my brother has called me Edgar Martinez.
That's how you got the nickname.
Edgar Martinez.
Yes.
It's baseball related. Probably just not what you think.
Okay.
Oh, speaking of Edgar Martinez and the Mariners, someone says, here's a fun Simon and Garfunkel fact. Miles, I want to say you brought this up the other day. The Seattle Mariners, this is true, have had more players suffer a ruptured testicle than playoff appearances.
They have.
Think about that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, one counts.
I know, right?
Right? But obviously they've had two.
Well, I guess, right, they've been in the playoffs, twice?
Has it been 2 times? Either way,
95 is kind of famous for the slide.
Right, yeah.
And then,
99 maybe?
No, 2001. Yeah. They set a record for most wins, but they got knocked out, I want to say, in the first round.
Still, more ruptured testicles than playoff appearances. Never the statistic you want for your sports team.
The big one I remember, and Miles will agree with this, is John Kruk. He played for the Phillies forever. He was the first baseman.
Yeah.
But there was a guy named Mitch Wild Thing Williams, and he threw a pickoff play so hard, like it crushed his cup or something, like shattered.
Didn't it rupture a testicle?
And it ruptured one of the testicles.
I'm saying he has one testicle now, right? Wasn't that?
Yes,
I believe.
correct.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Because I think he actually lost a testicle. So it's like, hey man, it's not like it hurt. Like it's no more.
Doesn't like Steve have 3?
Yeah, he's got 3.
And somebody else we know only has 1.
Can you be a donor? Right. So if Mig said, look, man, I got this third one. It's not doing anything for me. Lance has got one, Lance Armstrong. If he wants, I'll hook him up with Simon or Garfunkel.
Yeah.
I'm a donor.
Yeah, I'm a testicle donor.
We're bonded forever now. One of your testicles is with me.
Part of me is in you.
Sometimes you feel like it not.
When you have a kid, it might look like me now.
What happened to your important bits? 206-421-ROCK.
New on Curiosity Stream, he allows them their riches
Putin has to be the richest of the rich.
in exchange for their loyalty.
The oligarchs have supported someone for president that they underestimated.
The illicit affair between Russia's elite and the man who rules them on Putin and the oligarchs. And World War II Normandy. An obscure battle training session takes a tragic turn. Uncover the one secret military catastrophe on the secret D-Day disaster. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit CuriosityStream.com.
Well, great balls of fire, Bubba. What happened, Buford? That crazy son of a Sal blew right through that four-way stop on Main Street and plowed into my cowboy Cadillac.
Your what?
My pickup truck. And I'm pretty sure my leg is broken, Ted.
Oh, quit your bitching, Buford, and talk with those side busters at the Advocates Law Firm. When I got busted up last month, well, shoot, they made sure those snakes at the insurance company played fair.
Boy, howdy. Even that creepy so-and-so Kyle earned his keep.
So if you get injured, the advocates get results. AdvocatesLaw.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
My question, what happens here? Important bits. 206-421-ROCK.
We got a couple of comments here. First of all, Miles, regarding the vasectomy, and you were saying, like, when they're done, you know, the gun still fires, they're just not lethal, right?
It's like you're shooting blanks.
Yeah, so how does this happen? And someone here says, look, your prostate creates the actual fluid in semen. Your testicles only create the actual sperm cells.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Oh, so you still got the fluid.
Still got the fluid. Right. You just don't have the sperm.
That makes sense.
Someone else says, let's see, I had Simon, that would be the left one, stepped on by the heel of a 250-pound gal as she attempted to step over me and out of a hot tub while I was lounging with my feet up. Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
Someone else says, I crushed Simon having relations in a hot tub. Boys got relaxed. I sat on them when bouncing up and down.
No.
Blew the end out of it.
Oh.
And it gets worse.
Ooh.
When I was 18, just got done rubbing zipper Wookiees together with my girlfriend. Laying there afterwards, she reaches down to grab the blankets with her freshly done French tip nails. However, instead of grabbing the blankets, her nails pierced through Simon and Garfunkel's protective housing. Just says blood everywhere.
Ooh, gosh.
It's a shame. It's not like the French tip.
Does she grab blankets that violently?
I don't know, man.
I'm just trying to think, like, you do that much.
It's like a cat.
Oh, someone else had one. I can't find it now, but basically they got a cat. They got the cat neutered. 1 month after they got the cat, he stepped out of the shower. The cat saw a quote-unquote fun bag to play with. He managed to get out of the way just in time before it managed to grab his satchel, and he said the cat is no longer with him.
I understand.
Got rid of the cat that day.
Yeah, you only got to do that once.
What happened to your important bits? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Suzette. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, bicholas.
Hola.
Well, I'm going to make this short and sweet, readers, Simon and Garfunkel, but my son Simon, when he was about 3, he was on a piece of exercise equipment. He was pedaling on an exercise bike, and when he went to get down, there was an exposed bolt. So it caught on his scrotum and tore and made his testicle unravel and had a handful of blood, and that's pretty terrifying for a new mom.
Yeah, he never worked out again.
It was terrifying for a new kid, too. Trust me.
Exactly. What is going
He
on?
used to go around when he was like 7 or 8 and punch himself in the nards.
Does he remember this?
No.
Okay. I was going to say, like,
Then his brain did him well.
How old are you? You know what I mean? When you finally just can remember stuff like that happening.
I mean, there's a reason, like I said, you know, if they're going to circumcise a kid, like, this is the time to do it. I mean, you look at the contraption that they strapped them down to. Like, this is the weakest a human being is ever going to be, right? It's a newborn, basically.
Yeah.
And they're still like, oh, we got to strap him down, dude. And like, I get it.
Yeah, he's going to fight back.
Oh, he's definitely going to fight back. That'll be his first instinct. Like, whoa,
what are you doing?
I don't even know what that is, but do not touch that.
Don't take a lot off, Doc.
Right.
Well, I'm right, and that's what he's saying. Well, it doesn't hurt him as much. Like, he just can't say F.
None of us can say. None of us
hurts.
remember.
Yeah.
If we did, we'd be like, oh, my God, man. Hello, Fritz. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Liquor and licorice.
Hola.
Hola.
I've had 2 surgeries on my chicken heart for 2 tumors they took out.
They took out 2 tumors.
2 different times, about 20 years apart. I had a tumor growing in there. Started out pretty small, and then it got pretty large, and pretty soon I had 3 boys down there.
So do you constantly have to monitor yourself just to make sure that tumor doesn't come back?
Yeah, I do a lot of self-assessment.
I do too, but not for a medical reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, what's the most recent time you had to get surgery on this?
The last one was a couple of years ago. They took it out, sewed it back up. I went back in for a checkout a week later because I'd had some spotting, and so he said, hang on a second. So he grabbed onto it to stop the bleeding, like you're grabbing onto a piece of chicken skin. So first he reached for the staple gun, and he said, hang on a second, are you okay if I cauterize this? Yes, he zapped me with it.
Hello?
And, of course, your phone is cutting out, which might be the right time.
Yeah.
Look, people hear this say, what is it? Guys, really? Do we have to have this topic today? I'm about to tune off. I love you guys, but this makes me hurt. Followed by, please, 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 please stop. Please stop. For the love of God. Please stop this topic. Let's see. Someone else. What the F, guys? I'm cringing over this. Nightmares tonight for sure. Followed by, this is the most painful drive home I have ever had. Thanks,
Traffic's
fellas.
great.
Someone else, Miles, what the F is going on? What do you mean? What the F did you expect with this question?
Yeah.
Someone else says, by the way, I don't eat lunch during today's show. Okay, fair enough.
Sweet. See, you lost weight.
All right, we have heard you. Hello, Dave. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Hey, this is not Simon and Garfunkel. It was the Johnson. And
today we are calling that the Zipper Wookie. Good, sir. The
Zipper Wookie. That's Zipper Wookie. And I put a condom on it. Can I say that?
Sure.
And having fun. And all of a sudden I just stopped and I just said, something's wrong. And I stood up. My wife was, what's the matter? I looked down and something ruptured, and it was swelling out one side. And I went to the bathroom, and I couldn't get it off. My wife had to find some scissors to cut that thing off. Not the thing.
Right, the condom.
Yeah.
Yes, and I refused to go to the hospital. She thought I should. I just iced it all weekend long. But, yeah, it was fun.
Why did you not go to the hospital?
I'd have been in the car in 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's when you go to the hospital.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just figured ice would work.
And so did it ever come back? Do you have a reoccurring problem?
No. I mean, I was leery of putting one of those on again for a while, but what the impressive part was, like 3 days later, it was so multicolored. I just walked in the kitchen once and opened the robe, and she goes, "Are you ever going to grow up?"
Jesus.
But,
see, I would be so worried that I would need. I just check it out. Just tell me
that will get me to the hospital.
I don't know what happened.
People do.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I can't explain it. Will this come back? Is there a medical issue that needs to be addressed? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. When I broke my wrist, I knew I broke my wrist, but my daughter's birthday was the next night. So I sat there with the broken wrist, and I went to Ice Capade, or Disney on Ice with her, right? Sure. That was fine. Now, had it been the same scenario, but it was the Zipper Wookie, like, baby, I'm canceling going to Disney. This is something Daddy's got to go deal with.
And they highly recommend that you get a second or a third opinion on stuff. Stuff that's major, stuff that's important, right?
I would ask the janitor. Hey, man, before I go back there, like, what do you think?
Does this look right?
You go buy a car. You'll go to 2 or 3 different dealerships to test drive them and see which one you like.
Sure,
you know what I'm saying?
Correct.
But you just go to one doctor. You're like, all right, I'll believe you. You know what I mean? Like, okay. But you still got to go.
Sure. I think it's just the sensitivity of the moment. You know, I think I broke my penis. Well, I know it's just one doctor, and I know I'm just getting his advice based on what he thinks. But in that moment, I'm like, I'm just going to go ahead and take his advice, man.
Right.
I'm not comfortable waiting.
And cars, I mean, ideally, with cars, right, you shouldn't have, I guess the point I'm trying to make is you shouldn't have to comparison shop doctors.
Right.
Whereas cars, you want to get the best deal, this and that, you want to save some money. You hopefully, the doctor's just like, is going to recommend what you should have done. Now, I always say, I've never met anybody that's ever gone to an appointment with a surgeon and didn't have surgery.
Right. Now, but even if your doctor, in that moment, again, it's my junk, and he says, look, I know you're not going to do the comparison shopping, but I'm going to let you know I charge twice as much. I'd be like, so deal. Please, whatever you got to do, I am okay for you to do.
Yeah, but it's your junk.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a different story.
Protect the junk. Hello, Brian. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
All right, so I've got entirely too many stories about this. You got to pretty much pick which body part you want to talk about, but I'll just give you another jail story. I was job shadowing. When I was job shadowing at the Thurston County Hotel and Casino, I was on suicide watch. And not because I was suicidal, but because they didn't like me. I was on suicide protocol, meaning they only gave me a smock and a freaking and a mattress, and I was in a room with a toilet and a camera. So no privacy whatsoever. Yeah, it's
almost like they're trying to make you crazy.
Yeah, I know.
How can we ruin this guy's brain? How can we punish him mentally?
Yeah, and so the thing is, I'm a practical joker, and they can hear everything you say, and they do. And when somebody pisses me off, and they're in the cell next to me, and they won't shut up, I tell them to do stuff to screw with the staff. And so the medical was being slow rolling me for my knee brace, and I was like, hey, tell them you need a prostate exam, and they'll give you one. And they would do that. And anyways, so I was sitting, right, and I was waiting for meds, and then finally they come in, and I'm like, they're like, Phillips, and I was like, what? And I was like, I was confused. They're like, why are you confused? I was like, and I stood there like, what? And I was like, I almost puked right there, and they took my meds. I was like, yeah, I think I might have, and then so they went away, and then it felt literally like the vas deferens ripped off. So I thought I gave myself half of a vasectomy, and I was so scared. And I was like, I don't want to look at it. I don't want to touch it. I was like, can you call 911, please, and get an ambulance here and take me to the hospital? I might need surgery. And I thought I was like internally bleeding, and they weren't taking me seriously because of me being such a joker. And then I just talked into the intercom and said, I said some stupid stuff. And then the nurse had to evaluate me, and I was on graveyard shift. And this happened to be, let's just say the nursing staff there, if they're women, are attractive, and most of them are women, and one's a guy. And this one nurse, I was like, do you have a male nurse that can evaluate me? Because I'm not being a pervert. I want somebody to tell me medically if it's gone, because I heard if you crush it, it just disappears, and then it could reform again in 2 days. And then finally, they took me to medical, and she was like, can you pull your pants down for me so I could see? I was like, no, because I was laid down and in chains. I was like, when I pull the waistband up, it takes pressure off, and when I relieve the pressure, I'm like crying. So she literally had to like lift up my trousers and go to look inside, and her head happened to be like 6 inches. Like she was like, her hair fell on me. Like she was so close to me, and her head was by my waistband. And like as soon as she lifted up, I was like, okay, that's pain. She's like, okay, you're good. I was like, how do you know I'm good? She's like, because if what you said happened, you'd be swollen to the size of at least, by now she's like, at least an orange, and you're not. And I was like, oh, thank God. I was like,
you're right now, you're in a lemon.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, I was like, can you give me something for the pain? They're like, I can only give you Tylenol and ibuprofen and 200 milligrams apiece. I was like, oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, well, that's stuff you just buy over the counter. That's what I took after my vasectomy.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Ibuprofen.
Did you need stronger?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Can't they give you like the souped up ibuprofen?
Well, they gave me Percocet. And they said I should take 2 before I go in there. So they gave me a prescription for like 8. Okay?
All right.
Well, I took 4 before I went in.
All right.
So I'd already used most. I should have not have done that. I was just thinking, hell with it, man. I don't want to know what's going on. You know what I mean? I just want to be completely comatose. So I took all those Percocet, and then I didn't have any when I really needed them.
Yeah, right.
Word to the wise. You know what I mean?
I like how you set that
don't
up.
do that.
That's all they gave me.
Yeah.
No. They actually gave me the real stuff, but I ate too many of them
beforehand because, you know.
That's all I had is ibuprofen.
Well, they give it to you.
Not exactly.
They give it to you so you have it.
Understand. I understand your mentality.
Look, I might have taken one the night before to watch a movie. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, they give it to you before the surgery.
So you just got high.
Yeah, exactly.
They got Tylenol for the pain.
Oh man, I can't believe I got to get surgery tomorrow.
I'll be fine.
I'm good. I can't feel anything.
Hello, Ron. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola. Hey, how you guys doing?
Okay. Yeah, so far.
Okay,
I'm disturbed.
Right. So here we go. Back in '79, I'm up at Warm Beach Church Camp, and back then, I wore bell bottoms. Okay, so I'm talking to a couple of gals, and get the conversation done after a while, and I'm walking back to my cabin, and next thing you know, I got stung on the very tip of Mr. Happy.
From
a bee.
A bee. All right, you can't talk about. Come on.
Yeah.
That little dude flew away, and he landed on the ground. I stomped him, and to this day, I wear Levi's. No more. The bell bottoms are gone, man.
Okay, all right.
Well, it's also not the 70s.
Exactly, right. And you're not hanging out at church camp anymore, probably.
Well, we don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
It could be.
I've been drunk there.
Church camp?
Well, that church camp, because I was having beers and cocktails, and we went up there to see the lights. They have Christmas lights.
Oh, I see.
We would drink on Saturday night. The kids would go back Saturday at noon, and then a new group would come in for the next week on Sunday afternoon. So we had like a half day window to be able to cut loose. So that was Saturday night. So Saturday night, the people who like to meet up and do whatever we could find, we would all get together, go to somebody's tent, go to somebody's cabin, hook that up.
Oh, of course.
See, basketball camp was great, man, because we had a hospitality room that all the coaches went to at the end of the night. It was just like cold cuts and coolers full of beer.
Sweet.
Yeah. You could. And
Boy Scouts didn't have that.
Well, and right, this was a little different. And most of these dudes were all high school or college coaches. And
naturally.
Right. And it was always like, hey, go in there every night. You could stay in that room till 5 a.m. You just couldn't be late to meet your campers the next morning.
That's fair.
What happened to your important bits? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Tim. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello. Hola.
Hola.
All right, so this isn't necessarily about me. It's about my brother. He was doing pole vault in college, and it was during practice, and he went in. It hit the box and popped out because there's a pole vaulting box there.
Sure. Yeah.
And it popped out and hit the bag instead. So the pole goes in full bend, and he had to let it go.
Oh, no.
And it hit his lefty.
Ooh.
And it grew to the size of a softball.
Jesus, man.
And I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, no, I mean, look, that's what it is.
It's not you, it's your brother. Who cares?
It's yeah, exactly. So they had to take him to the hospital, and they said that there was nothing that they could do. They just had to cut it off.
Oh, damn. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big jump.
So,
I thought you were going to say let the swelling go down, put it on ice.
Okay.
And I'm like, can't do much, going to take it off.
That escalated.
Did he? Well,
Go ahead.
If they didn't do that, then they said that he could have died. So
now,
that was
did he continue pole vaulting after this?
Surprisingly, after like 3 months, that was the first thing he decided to go back and do.
Really?
So he was out of commission for that long?
Yes. He tried to go and start jogging, and he said it hurt so bad that he basically just gave up for a while. And then him getting back into pole vaulting, he straight up said that if he didn't do it, he was going to be afraid of it forever.
Well, it's not only that. I mean,
that's fair.
You got to remember, man, they're at a half sprint,
right,
into a full sprint at the end. So even more so, just going out and running 3 miles. You are not running as fast as you can with a pole. You know what I mean? So I would even think that would be much more difficult if you can't run.
That sport boggles my mind to begin with.
It does, what is the percentage of dudes the pole vault? Maybe not that suffered an injury to the extent of your brother, but I mean, how many guys basically just get racked 2-3 times a season?
And why is it all? Is it men and women? Pole
yeah,
vault?
it's men and women.
Oh yeah, okay.
Men and women.
Huh? That is a very unusual one to get into.
Because I don't know if let me rephrase that. As a child, I would have loved to have tried it, but as I started hitting my teen years, and you recognize the reality of the physics and all, I'm like, I don't know that I want it. It looks like it'd be fun if I do it successfully. I'm not confident enough that I'm actually going to do anything other than either crush my own testicles, fall backwards, whatever.
I mean, I feel like you just got to have guts to just place that thing in there, like Miles was saying, when you're sprinting, then just be like, all right, here I go.
Then kind of go upside down, right, on a bending pole so that my feet are above my head.
Yeah.
And hope that this all works out so that I can go over the bar.
This guy that
that sport just looks frightening.
Honestly, but because of that, I don't really watch the Olympics. I just don't care. Maybe I'm an American. Don't care. I just don't care, right? So, but pole vaulting, like, I will not seek it out. But if it's on, like, oh, I'm watching
It's
this.
like ski jumping, right? When the Winter Olympics start, right? Like, ski jumping is just so crazy and looks so dangerous. You're like, you got to watch it.
You don't want anyone to get hurt, but you're like, but if someone's going to get hurt, it's going to be this event.
Here's a crazy.
And I want to see that if it's going to happen.
Here's a crazy track story. Okay, so senior year track, we have one of the best discus throwers in the state.
Okay.
So this guy was always up there. He was either second, third, his whole entire high school career. This is his senior year. He's the guy. He's going to take states. You know what I mean? He's that good. So there's another guy who runs long distance, and he was lanky and tall, and he was like 6'4".
Sure.
At that age, he probably weighed 125 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this guy, he was also a senior. He was not the best long distance runner in the world, but that's what he enjoyed doing, and that's what he competed in. It wasn't like he was winning tournaments or anything. So one day at track practice, apparently, because I wasn't on the track team, he starts messing around with a discus, just screwing off. Like, oh, man, I could throw this thing. Look. Apparently, he was a natural. Like, he spun a couple times and threw this thing farther than anybody had ever seen.
Really?
And
really?
Yes. And the track coach is like, oh, my God. What is so not only did this guy who'd never done discus in his life, 2 months later, win the state discus championship.
Oh, no.
He had the record for the longest throw ever in the state. And he just picked the damn thing up 2 months before that.
Now, what's the response of
That's the
state
weird thing
guy?
about track and field. Like, he beat the guy who was supposed to be the man who'd been practicing that event for all 3 years in high school. He just picked the damn thing up and threw it one day, and they're like, Jesus, man. Like,
and I'm guessing the discus thrower didn't start running long distance.
Probably not, no. I just remember, like, he did what? Like, no, man, he could throw a discus. Like,
come on.
You gotta be kidding me.
I mean, that's like in football, right? Like wide receivers, quarterbacks, those dudes have been playing since they were kids.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure there's a guy that's going to get drafted this year in the first round. It's an offensive lineman. Like, he picked it up like 2 years ago.
The Ravens picked up a guy like that.
Yeah.
He moved here from Africa, figured it out in college. He's still a little rough. And you watch him play and you're like, I would have drafted him too.
What happened to your...
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.